Unit 13, Culture of the 1920s. Learning objectives. Describe the effects of radio and movies on popular culture. Examine the growth and popularity of country and blues music. Describe the impact of new technologies of the era, air travel and electricity. Describe the impact of Henry Ford, the automobile, and mass production. The big concepts for this topic: culture of the 1920s. The spread of technology allows for electricity in many American cities and homes. Radios connect Americans like never before, creating a new mass culture. Radio and blues and jazz music become popular forms thanks to the radio. Movies and radio create new celebrities in the United States, such as Charlie Chaplin, Charles Lindbergh, and Babe Ruth. Henry Ford pioneers the use of mass production to make an affordable automobile. Automobiles free Americans from the communities. The emergence of paved roads, gas stations, and suburbs. Air travel becomes a new form of travel. Key vocab. Movies. Films really blossomed in the 1920s. Most U.S. films during this time period were made in Hollywood on the West Coast. By the mid-1920s, movies were big business. The greatest output of feature films occurred in the 1920s and 30s, averaging 800 film releases in a year. Silent films were the predominant product of the film industry. Charlie Chaplin, an English comic actor, filmmaker, and composer. He had great fame in this era of silent film. He became a worldwide icon through his screen persona, the Tramp. He's one of the most important figures in the history of the film industry. Babe Ruth, lasting impact on Major League Baseball. He was the first player to hit 60 home runs in a season and ended his career with 714 home runs. Radio. Broadcast radio in the United States undergoes a rapid change through the decade of the 1920s. By 1930, 40% of the nation's households owned a radio, and by 1940, 83% of American homes owned a radio. This allows for the new mass culture, a connection Americans will share through the radio. Shared experiences. You could listen to the news, music, comedy, soap operas. Radio allows for Americans to hear new forms of music, country music, the Grand Ole Opry, the weekly American country music stage concert held in Nashville, Tennessee. It started in 1925 as a one-hour radio barn dance. W.C. Handy, father of the blues, played in Memphis, Tennessee, composer and musician. Bessie Smith, Chattanooga blues singer, nicknamed the Empress of the Blues. She was the most popular female blues singer of the 1920s and 30s. Air travel. It was common for mail to be transported by air. Many airmail aircrafts would also carry passengers. One such airline was Western Air Express. The airline carried its first load of mail in April 1926 and was welcoming passengers by May of the same year. Charles Lindbergh, famous American aviator. At age 25, In 1927, he went from obscurity to world fame, making the first nonstop flight from New York to Paris. This flight made many Americans feel that air travel was safer. The spread of electricity. Many new appliances and products were developed during this time. The radio, washing machines, irons, vacuum cleaners, electric ovens, dishwashers, the electric razor. These devices helped cut down the amount of time it took to do household chores. Freed many Americans from daily activities that required a labor-intensive use. Henry Ford, he develops one of the world's first inexpensive cars, the Model T. He used mass production and assembly line techniques to cut down on costs and time. Cars change society forever. People can move and travel easier than ever before. People in rural areas can reach towns. People in cities can drive out of towns. It forever changes the landscape of the United States, thanks to Henry Ford. Our timeline. In 1920, the Model T cost $300. 1921, Charlie Chaplin stars in the famous film, The Kid. 1923, Babe Ruth and the Yankees win the World Series. 1925, the Grand Ole Opry starts. 1927, Charles Lindbergh flies across the Atlantic. And then it all changes in 1929. The Great Depression begins.